Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we will wait for around 2 minutes for anyone who wants to join in. This will be for theory, inshallah, the last session. We will try to complete the chapter today, which is Mudud, and the last two as well. So that's Tajweed Rules of the Quran, book by Dr. I'm sorry, not doctor. I always keep misplacing that. It's by Karima Carol Sarapinsky, and a Sheikh Dr. Ayman Rushdie Soed was her teacher. So we went through all the rules, the introduction to Tajweed, the importance of Tajweed, the rules for Isti'aza, Basmala, the various makhraj points and makhraj. We were practicing Eld is from the sides of the tongue and Lam is in the front. Then Aq is one which we were practicing. Aq, off from behind. Aq. And Kaf is little more in front. You will not get that bouncing sound. When does the bouncing sound come? When you hit something and then you come back. Like for example, Ba. For saying Ba, yes, inshallah, I will just check. Actually, I'm having a weak connection. Let me see if the connection goes fine. Then we will continue, or else I might have to reschedule it. I'll change. I'll wait for a couple of minutes to see if it gets better, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Okay, is that better now? So, Aql was very much at the back part of the throat, just little in front. Yeah, as I was saying, why is the bouncing sound coming? For example, let's take the alphabet Ba. I touch my both lips and I say Ab. I press and then I leave it. So when something hits and you open it, like hit and release, that's when the bouncing sound comes. Same thing is there in Qaf also. You have to hit and release. Unless I release, the Qaf sound is not complete. So you have to release. So by that release, naturally the bouncing sound comes. So those are characteristics by default which are there in the alphabet itself. The alphabet is not complete without those sounds. We will see more about this in the last chapter in this book. It's just coming up. It's called Qalqala. So we did huruf and makharij. Kaf is little in front. It's ak, ak. And when you keep your hand in front of your mouth, you should feel air on your hands. This part of having air on the hands and all, that is again a characteristic. It is there in volume 2 of the book, which is part 2. Makhraj of Sad, Dad, Ta and Dha. For Sad, it is same like Seen. Now how do you say Seen is, you have to take the tip of your tongue, okay, and when you will say S, it is between both the teeth, the front two teeth, between the upper jaw and lower jaw. In between that, it's more focus is on the lower jaw, but it's not completely there, and it's not touching it. It's not touching the teeth. It's just slightly, one small gap is there. So your tip of the tongue, you have to touch at the teeth, but there will be some slight gap, and you will say S, S. So Seen should be easy. It will get one buzzing sound, S. Sad is exactly the same way. The only difference is Sad is a heavy letter. So you have to raise the back part of your tongue. Again, raising the back part of the tongue is done in heavy letters. Heavy letters are again, that's a characteristic of the alphabets, which is again there in volume 2 on more about that. So it will be F, F. But the same place you will touch just like Seen. Seen is S, so it's Sa, whereas Sad is more like Sa. Your mouth opens upwards, but for Sa it opens flat. Sa. Your tongue will be completely down. You should have enough space, enough air inside your mouth. Sa. But for Sad, since you're raising your tongue from behind, the air which is there inside it reduces, so you get a very thick sound. Same thing for Ta. It's like Ta. How you say Ta? The top of the tongue. It's not the tip. It's the tip and the top of the tongue. The front two teeth up above, the front two teeth, the rabbit's tooth, as you say. Behind that, on the gums, you will touch and say at. That's there. Same place you will touch, but the sound will be heavy. It will become alto. So alto Ta has that bouncing sound. Then dha is like same like zal. For zal, what do? You bring your tongue out slightly. So your the top area of the tongue, as I had mentioned. Yes, all the heavy letters you will raise the back part of your tongue. That's how the sound becomes heavy. So this is the tongue. This top part where you taste food, that top part, and this is your teeth. So these edges, these incisors, here you have to touch this top area. So what will happen is this slightly your tongue might go out and you will say ez. So in this, keep your back part of the tongue down so that you have enough space inside, so the sound will be light. For zal, ez. But for dha, it's the same, but only thing from behind you will raise it upwards, so you won't have enough space inside, so your sound will come thick. El. Okay. And dad is a little difficult even for Arabs. They also will find this letter difficult. It will be this back part of the tongue, either one side or both sides, and either one, right or left. The teeth which are exactly above here, all the molars, that is what you're going to touch. And this is a heavy letter, so again this part should be raised also. So it becomes very difficult because you have to raise here also, and again use these sides and touch the molars and say eld. So that's dad. It's a heavy letter. And then we did the rules for noon as-sakinatu, what that means, then al-mim as-sakina, and then lam sakina, the gunna, four levels of gunna. Lam sakina, you have izhar and idgham. And then we started with mudud we said are basically two categories, mad asli and mad fara'i. Asli is the natural mad, which is a, u, e. That's the natural mad that looks like this. This is natural mad. For some reason you will extend it more than 2 counts. This is natural mad 2 counts. Some reasons, meaning suppose if there is a hamza after this or a sukoon after this on the next letter, so this becomes mad fara'i. So mad fara'i is 2 categories, due to hamza or due to sukoon. What is the thing? This natural mad itself you will lengthen to more than 2 counts based on what follows it and where it follows, how it follows. And mad tabi'i, which is mad al-asli, you have 2 more things that follow it, which is mad sila sughra, which is the pronoun ha. It can be who or it can be he. You will see a small waw or ya, that is mad sila sughra, 2 counts because it will follow sila sughra. The other is tanween fatha. When you stop, only then. When I stop on it, you will recite it 2 counts with 1 fatha and alif. Same thing here also. If I stop, then I don't have a mad. It's only when you're continuing. If I stop, you're going to make it a sukoon. An sukoon. So anhu, an. When I stop, I make a sukoon. So then the rule doesn't come. You don't have a mad then. That in mad fara'i we saw due to hamza, due to sukoon, and again within that you have many categories. We finished the ones due to hamza. Mad due to hamza, one was mad badal, which is same as tabi'i, but only thing is when it comes with a hamza it will be called mad badal. You won't call it mad tabi'i. Then al-wajib muttasil. Muttasil is when you see a mad wave and a sukoon in the same word. That's mad muttasil, and it's wajib. You have to extend it to 4 counts. Now again, even if it's in the same word, so of course you're not going to stop in the middle of the word. So even if you stop or continue, because there's no question of stopping, so it's always there, it's wajib. The other is mad jaiz munfasil. Jaiz means permissible. Why permissible? permissible to take it to 2 counts. When do you take it 2 counts? When you stop on it, because then you will not have a hamza with it. It will be hamza, sorry, a mad wave plus a hamza in 2 different words. That's munfasil, it's separated. So both are same. But in Hafs and Asim rule, as we said, whichever count you're taking, both should have the same count. You cannot differentiate in the counts for them. And then mad sila kubra. Kubra is again the same sila rule of pronoun hai, but if it is followed by hamza, you will get a mad wave on that small waw or ya. So you will have 4 counts there. 4 or 5 as you have option for muttasil and munfasil. You have 4 or 5 as the option. Mad badal is 2 counts. For us, mad badal 2 counts. Other readers have more, but for us, we need to remember mad badal will be 2 counts. Then mad muttasil and munfasil jaiz, we have option for 4 or 5, but always remember to have the consistency. Then we saw in due to sukoon, we just saw a couple of them. So here you have 4: badal, muttasil wajib, munfasil jaiz, and sila kubra. In due to sukoon, you have 3. We did 2 of them. The third one is going to take time, so we stopped over there. Al-mad bi sabab al-sukoon is mad aarid li-sukoon. This is when you have a mad and then you just have one alphabet after it. So mad is the second last letter. And if you stop, so this is just aarid li-sukoon. If you stop, that means you are getting a sukoon here. You're presented by a sukoon. You're making the last letter sukoon. So you take 2 option. You have 2, 4 and 6. Same thing. First you need to know what is letters of leen, which is fatha plus waw sukoon is aw. Fatha plus ya sukoon is ay. So that is called leen. What is it called? Leen. So the same way how aarid li sukoon is, same way if you have a leen like Quraish. So when you stop, again you have option 2, 4, 6. But we saw that aarid li sukoon is more stronger than leen. So in one phrase, in one ayah, if you have 2 phrases, you will always have to do aarid li sukoon longer.
Ilafi Quraish.
Li-ilafi.
لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم الشتاء والصيف.
والصيف is also lean. Say صيف is also lean.
صيف
لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب
هذا البيت
الذي أطعمهم
من جوع وآمنهم
من خوف. So this whole surah, all the last word, if you see, they all are on lean. It's Quraish, Bait, Khawf, all are lean. So you can practice the lean here. So that's where we stopped. And the third one is Maddul Lazim. Lazim, what does Lazim mean? Lazim means compulsory. So you need to remember this mad is compulsory. Since it's compulsory, you cannot shorten it. You have a compulsory lengthening. Now, what do you mean by Al-Maddul Lazim? You have an original sukoon. The one which we saw now, it was a presented sukoon. It was not an original sukoon. Like if you're going to stop and you have to do a sukoon, it was not originally a sukoon. So here what will happen is original sukoon, meaning the alphabet will have a sukoon on top of it. So you have a mad letter. It can be any one of the mad letter. And the next alphabet will have a sukoon on top. So that time you need to do what is known as al-maddul lazim. So even if you stop over here, you will have to do a sukoon. Even if you're continuing reading, then also you will have the sukoon on the word, because that is an original sukoon. So here you have two categories in maddul lazim. In maddul lazim, I have two categories. One is al-maddul lazim kalimi. What do you mean by kalima? Al-kalima means a word. And al-maddul lazim harfi. What do you mean by a harf? A harf means an alphabet. So you can have al-maddul lazim in one alphabet itself. And how is that? We'll come to that. And the other is if this mad plus sukoon is in one word. Can you give me a very common example where it comes in one word? You have a mad and after that you have a sukoon. And you will see in the mushaf, wherever this is there, you will see a mad wave drawn, like how mad muttasil and munfasil and mad sila kubra, you have a mad wave. Same way for maddul lazim, you will see a mad wave. So you will see a mad wave like this, and after that you will see a sukoon. A very, very common example which we use daily. You know, you have the ayah in Surah Al-Fatiha. The last word is what? It is ad-dallin. If you see here, there is a mad wave. After that, what do you have? Lam shadda. Shadda means first you have a lam with sukoon.
Sukoon.
So you have a mad wave and after that you have a sukoon, right? You have a mad wave and plus you have a sukoon. So this becomes your maddul lazim. So this is compulsory 6 counts. You cannot take it less than that. You have to take it to 6 counts. So that is your maddul lazim. Whenever you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, like even during Taraweeh, if the Imam goes or recites fast, they do not take this down because you cannot take it. That's the rule of Tajweed, the rule of recitation. You have to take it up to 6 counts. Now again, this, as I saw, harfi and kalimi is again divided into two categories. You have a kalimi musaqqal, that's with fa, musaqqal, and you have mukhaffaf. Mukhaffaf means heavy. Same thing, you will have your harfi, musaqqal and mukhaffaf. So you have mad lazim kalimi musaqqal, mad lazim kalimi mukhaffaf, and mad lazim harfi musaqqal, mad lazim harfi mukhaffaf. Now what is the difference between both of them? First let's come to musaqqal. Musaqqal is mukhaffaf is khafif, it's light, khafif, and musaqqal is heavy. So what will happen in musaqqal, like the example of waladdallin, after the mad wave, what did you have? You had a shadda. So when you have a shadda, it is known as musaqqal. Okay, so what do you mean? But the definition is, it's when an original sukoon, that letter has a shadda on it, that comes after a mad letter. Musaqqal, this refers to the shadda. Shadda indicates two letters the same, first with a sukoon and second with the vowel, that is with the shadda. Since these two letters have merged, it's idgham into one another, and that is why there is a shadda. As Arabs, you know, they would not write two alphabets next to each other which are same. They will just combine them. So combining, merging is called idgham, and they will put a shadda on top to denote that here we have two alphabets. Why is it called lazim? Because it is permanent. It does not reduce, it does not change, it stays as it is. So it is lazim. The original sukoon is there, whether the reader stops or continues, it's always there. And also all readers agree that lengthening must be 6 vowel counts. Kalimi, why? Because it is in one word. So kalimi, lazim because it's 6 counts. So lazim, kalimi, and musaqqal because of the shadda. Then mukhaffaf is when the original sukoon, that is there is no shadda after it. It is just what is there is just a sukoon. Then you will call it mukhaffaf. So basically, it's both are the same. Only thing, when it's a shadda, you will say muthaqqal. Even it's other one, you'll say mukhaffaf. Now, those who don't want to remember such terminologies, it's fine. You just need to remember that if you see a mad wave plus a shadda in one word, then take it to 6 counts. Or if you see a mad wave plus a sukoon in one word, take it to 6 counts. It's compulsory. You cannot reduce that. Now, mad wave plus sukoon, which is the green one, the box that is mentioned, mad wave plus sukoon in the mushaf in the Quran comes only at 2 places. Mad wave plus sukoon. One is al-ana, and another is the same word, but one is in Surah Yunus, ayah 91. Other is in Surah Yunus, ayah 51. So you'll take it to 6 counts. The other is mad lazim harfi. Now for mad lazim harfi, what you need to know is, I'll clear the board because I need to explain this. You need to know the spelling of alphabets. Like for example, in Surah Yasin, what is the surah? Yeah. And how do you pronounce yeah? How is the spelling of yeah? It's like this. So the yeah is 2 counts. How do you write seen? If I want to spell out seen, it's like this, right? So what do you have? You have a mad, right? And it's after that you have the next letter is a sukoon. So you have a mad, normal mad followed by a sukoon, and you have to stop. Mad wave plus sukoon means 6 counts. So when I say seen, I have to take it 6 counts. It's compulsory. But is this one word? It's just one alphabet. I am just saying this. I'm just saying the seen. Because there is no haraka on it, I have to pronounce the letter. I have to say the alphabet seen, because I cannot say sa, su, si. There is no haraka on it. If you open the mushaf and see, there is no haraka. So I have to say seen. So since this is in one alphabet only, it is known as harfi. It's lazim because it's always the sukoon is there, so it's lazim. And if it will be sukoon here, then you will say it is mukhaffaf. Now let us look at lazim harfi. These are the letters that begin some of the surahs. How many are there? There are 14 in number. Now scholars have some poets, they have grouped these 14 letters in one phrase, and that phrase is Nasun Hakimun Qati'un Lahu Sir. So you can remember the alphabets from here, but even if you don't, it's fine, because as you're reading, you will automatically come to know that which is the one which is having. It will be a mud sandwiched in between. So these are divided into 4, which is all these letters. If you see, these are the alphabets that begin the surahs, because not all alphabets are there. There are a couple of alphabets that appear at the beginning, like kaf, ha, ya, ayn, sad in Surah Maryam, Surah Yasin, Surah Taha, Surah Alif Lam Mim. So all Alif Lam Mim Ra. So all these alphabets, they are clubbed. Now if you divide it into the way of how they are spelled, you can divide it into 4 groups. One is, I'll just clear. One is alif. Alif is just straight alif. There is no mad at all. The one next is the letters which have 2 mad counts, like ya, ta, or ha. These have 2 counts. These alphabets can be found in the coding hayya tuhr or tuhar. Ha, ya, ta, ha, ra. Hayya tuhar. So there are these 5 alphabets. Then you have the ones which have 6 vowel counts, like we saw seen. These alphabets are mentioned in sanaqus lakum. All these are seen, noon, qaf, sad, lam, kaf, mim. So you see, all have a mad in between, and last is a sukoon, so you stop on it. So this is known as the one which have 6 vowel counts. There are 7 alphabets here. So naqus is 4 and lakum is 3. Now these again are divided into 2 categories because these are the ones which will have maddul lazim. So you will have mukhaffaf and musaqqal in them. When do you say that they are musaqqal? The letter when written out consists of 3 letters. The middle will be a mad, and the one which is the merged letter follows the mad letter, meaning the third letter is mudgham. Like for example, what will happen is, for example, you have this seen. Okay, so you will have the mad letter and you will have a sukun, but what will happen is the next letter, whatever will be, they will get merged with this. They will be the same and they will get merged. So when merging happens, what happens? It's like having a shadda, 2 letters together. So it will become musaqqal. And in mukhaffaf, what will happen is the next letter okay, in this case, this letter will actually be mudgham of these two. 1 second. I wrote it wrong. What will happen is this third letter will be mudgham with the second letter here, and in the mukhaffaf the third letter and the second letter, third will be a sakin. It will be after the mad letter. It will not be merged with it. It will not be merged with the mad letter. But in musaqqal, this third letter will be merged with this mad letter. And then the fourth category is ayn. Why? The ayn you can lengthen to 4 counts or 6 counts according to the rules of which way we read. Now for us, we are reading Hafs and Asim min tariq al-Shatibiyya. Because ayn, what happens is ayn is a follower of mad leen. Because how do you write ayn? There is no other letters, if you see, they are all mad. But ayn is having a mad leen. It's not having a mad. It's mad leen. So leen is not a compulsory mad. You have option, right? 4 or 6. When you stop, you have option of taking 4 or 6. So this is not a mad letter. Then let us look at mukhaffaf now. I'll clear the board. Now all this is harfi, okay? The kalimi is finished. Now just within one this, you have seen noon, qaf, sad, lakum, sanakus, lakum. In all these letters, middle letter is a mad letter. The third letter will have a sukun. Now whether it's muthaqqal or mukhaffaf, how would you know? The last letter is what it will decide for you whether it's muthaqqal or mukhaffaf, whether it merges with the first letter of the next 3 letter word or not. In mukhaffaf, you will not have merging. There will be no shadda. That's why it's mukhaffaf. It's 6 vowel counts. Mukhaffaf is the light one. Like you have alif. Alif, there is no mad. Lam. How do you write lam? Like this. Lam, sukun, and then you have ra. Now when I read alif, lam, ra, after lam, there is no ruling here. It's lam, ra, alif, lam, ra, just like that. So this meme is not merged, so it's mukhaffaf. Okay, but when there is merging, let us look at how the merging is. Muthaqqal. Now sanaqus lakum again, but here what will happen is you will have letters, and yeah, of course, whenever you have alphabets which should take 6 counts, you will have like this. Now if you see, alif will not have this mad wave drawn on it because alif is not 6 counts. Lam is 6 counts, so you will have like this mad wave drawn on it. Meme is 6 counts, meme will have a mad wave. So with that mad wave, you will know if a mad wave is there on these are known as haruf al-muqatta'at. So if they have a mad wave, you have to take it to 6 counts. Why is it called musaqqal now? Why is it heavy? Because, for example, if I write it down, I will recite alif, lam, meme. Now you see, you notice something? You have alif is fine, lam, mim. Now here you see the mim sakina rule. Mim followed by mim. So this gets merged because it's same letter. So this merging means what? You have sukun plus sukun plus haraka and same alphabet. That's what a shadda is. So then it becomes musaqqal, it becomes heavy. Now in the second one, which is meme, in that meme, after that meme there is nothing following it. So this one meme, the second part will be light. This will be mukhaffaf. But the lam, that will be musaqqal. But you don't need to know these terms now in case you all are not wanting to go into the depth of studies. But you should know, if you see a single alphabet which is the beginning of the surahs, if you have a mad wave drawn on it, you will take it to 6 counts, and it's compulsory 6 counts. You cannot cut it down. And the other is within one word. If you see a mad wave plus shadda or mad wave followed by sukoon, then take it to compulsory 6 counts. So that is what you should know. And the normal alphabets, alif will be alif. The other alphabets which they don't have a mad wave written on top, they will be 2 counts. Okay. So let's look at the conclusion. Aqwa sababain, which is this mad fara'i is due to 2 causes, right? Hamza and sukoon. In Hamza you saw 3 kinds: mad muttasil, munfasil and badal. And this was again due to 2 counts: lazim with arid li sukoon, that was for sukoon. Leen was a branch of arid li sukoon. Mudud have various degrees of strength and weaknesses, as we saw. Mad lazim is the strongest of them all, madul lazim. Second strong is wajib muttasil. I'll write it down here. Lazim is the strongest. Next strongest is wajib, because see, lazim, how do? You take 6 counts and you cannot reduce. The next one in wajib also, most of them agree it's wajib, you have to do it. 4, 5. So that's the next strongest. Then is arid li sukoon is the next stronger. And then you have jaiz munfasil, mad badal is the weakest. Then you have jaiz munfasil, and last is al badal. There is a poetry written by Sheikh Ibrahim Ali Shahata which reinforces the ranking of the mudud. أقوى المدود لازم فما اتصل فعارض فذو انفصال فبدل. That is the order. And قاعدة أقوى السببين في المدود, rule of the stronger of the 2 causes for a lengthening. Now why do we need to know which is strong, which is not? If 2 reasons for lengthening are present in one mud letter, you have one mud letter and you have 2 reasons because of which you can lengthen it. Out of those 2, of course, one will be strong, then the other, as per this order. So in case weak mud is left, we use the stronger of the 2. Again, the same author's poetry is there. وَسَبَبَ مَدًّا إِذَا مَا وُجِدَ فَإِنْ أَقْوَى السَّبَبَيْنِ انفردا. It's, for example, Amin. Okay, I'll write it here so you know the spelling. You can go to page number 79 to see it. It's Hamza, Fa'a. This is Mad Badal, right? But you have a Mad wave here. Why? Because there is a Shadda after it. No. So there is a Hamza, Fatha, so it's a Mad Badal. This is again followed by a Shadda. Shadda means Sukoon. So you have Mad Lazim also here. Now which is the stronger of these 2? Mad Badal is, as we saw, is the weakest, and Mad Lazim is the strongest. So what we will do, we will not use Mad Badal. You will not say and stop. You will not take it 2 counts. What you will do is, you, instead of taking 2 counts, you will take it 6 counts, because that is the most strongest. So in this same place itself, I have 2 Mad. I have a Mad Badal. Mad Badal is 2 counts only. But I have Mad Lazim, which is compulsory 6. This is stronger, so I cannot do 2 counts here. I don't have an option that do 2 or do 6. I have to do 6 counts because that's stronger. Again, another example is mentioned. Again, that's mad badal and wajib muttasil. So wajib is again stronger. So you'll do wajib muttasil. Inna bura'u minkum. Now here it will be easy for you because mad badal, which is hamza, here generally a mad wave is not drawn. So when you just see this, you will take 2. But when you see a mad wave drawn, by default what we will do generally for all of them, mad lazim we will take 6. But for all the others, keep a standard of 4 counts. So it will be easier for you all. So whenever you see a mad wave, just check for sukun shadda. If sukun shadda is there, take 6 counts, otherwise 4 counts. And the rest of all it will be all natural mad, which will be 2 counts. There are 2 more examples mentioned here. Like if this mad you can take 4 or 5, but if you're going to stop on the same mad or any word which is ending in hamza, that hamza has it has a hamza at the end of it or after the mad letter, you have 3 possibilities. As we saw, mad followed by hamza is either muttasil or munfasil. Munfasil is 2 different words, muttasil same word. If you're reading muttasil 4 counts, you can stop on this 4 or 6. 4 counts means 2 causes. You have muttasil or arid li sukun, because you're going to stop, right? So whenever you stop, what happens? You have an arid li sukun. When you stop on 6 counts, meaning you're following arid li sukun, because arid li sukun has 6 counts option, but muttasil and munfasil, they don't have 6 counts, they have only 4 and 5. You cannot stop on it saying arid li sukun and 2 counts. Why? Because of aqwa sababain, meaning the stronger ruling part. Because arid li sukun, you do have option of 2, 4, 6, but here you cannot have 2 counts because you have a mad wajib muttasil, or sorry, mad jaiz munfasil if you have, and so because of that, that is the stronger rule. Mad wajib muttasil is stronger than arid li sukun. So you cannot stop arid li sukun and 2 counts. When you're going to stop, you have to take either muttasil or the stronger that is the longer of arid li sukun, which is 4 or 6. You can go through page number 80 as a homework, page number 80, and see if you have any queries in that. The next page is just one complete diagram of the mud, the various chart, the 2 categories, within the 2 categories how much they are, and I will post as well on the group. And we come to chapter number 8, that how the letters are formed. This is just for us to know, it's a good thing. It's not a very long chapter, that's just 2 pages, and after that we will do al-qalqala, and that would be the end of the book, inshallah ta'ala. So the Quran consists of 114 surahs, right? And each surah has a number of ayats. Each ayat will have a lot of words. Words are made up of different letters. So the smallest unit in making up of the Quran is what? A letter, which is known as a harf. The scholars study these letters from how? From makharij, from the articulation point, from that standpoint, and the sifat of the letter. So a letter is made up of what? When you have a letter which is called a harf, you have 2 aspects to a harf. One is from where does the sound come, because letter is just a graphical diagram of how the sounds are. So makharij is the place from where the sounds come, and harf is just a pictorial representation of those sounds. And the second thing is sifat, its characteristics. If the Quran reader recites or pronounces each letter from the proper makhraj with all of the letters sifat, and can read each letter properly alone as well as in conjunction with other words, like each letter by itself or each letter within a word. You can recite all the alphabets properly, then he has achieved high quality in reading the Quran. As I said in the beginning in the first class as well, main thing in reading is to have the sounds proper of the alphabets, the makharij and the sifat, because alphabet would have always two things. Once you do that, the rules are simple, that's not much of a thing. Your recitation will automatically improve and sound better and have an effect on you. Once this is corrected, you will have achieved high quality in reading the Quran. What is the definition of letter? As we had seen before, a letter is nothing but a sound. It depends on part or an approximate point of articulation. To know what is a letter, we need to understand what is a sound. How is sound defined? Sound, if you would have, or you may remember, or maybe if any one of your children or cousins or those who are studying, if you see their physics book, they have a chapter on sound. Sound is nothing but its vibration and waves in the layers of air. So when it has vibrations, the air vibrates and it reaches a ear, and that's how the sound comes. So that's the vibration is what makes the sound. If air vibrates with a vibration which reaches human hearing levels, then that vibration is called sound. If it's just a small vibration which cannot reach our hearing, it will not be called sound. And how much do humans ears hear? In the range of 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, smallest to a very high sound as well. 1 hertz is how much? Now this is all physics, you don't need to know, but let me tell you, it's 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, HERTZ. 1 hertz is vibrations per each second. If the frequency of sound vibrations is higher or lower than this range, 20 to 20,000, we cannot hear it. One example is ultrasound. We cannot hear ultrasound. Air vibrates normally in nature in many ways. Now there are 4 different ways which produce audible waves. One is, I just remembered, so I just thought I'll share it with you. There is a book by Karima Carroll, her teacher, that is Sheikh Dr. Ayman Rushdie Suwaid. I think I would have mentioned about this book, as I told, I think during Makhraj, that I'll share some pictures from there. The whole book is in Arabic, but it's really very beautiful. There, if you see in the beginning, he has drawn a picture of the human ear and how the sound reaches the ear, and then after that the various ways how sounds are produced, the different kinds of vibration, and understanding that will help a lot in understanding the makharij and the sifat. Actually, you can understand makharij sifat otherwise also, but those ways which he has explained, it really helps a lot. So if you understand sound, it's going to be very helpful for learning the makharij. One is strong collision of 2 bodies. There are 2 bodies and they hit each other. So that, like for example, when you clap your hands, it makes sound, right? So that's just strong collision of 2 bodies. That's clapping. The other is if 2 bodies separate from each other. Okay, when the thing is, if they are together and they separate from each other, then also, and they separate, they have a strong bond and then they separate. Like for example, a paper is having a strong bond, but if I tear it, it's separation. You will get some sound because of the vibration. Next is third part, which is in the nature, the sounds that come is vibration of a body. Like, you have a tuning fork and you vibrate. You would have done it in physics assignment in school. The vibration of a tuning fork, that's vibration, and that's how the sound, you can hear sound. Even rubber band, if you take a rubber band, when it vibrates, you hear sound. And you would have seen children playing with it also. This nice sound it makes. If you hold a rubber band between 2 fingers and stretch it, and with your finger just keep vibrating one or two of both the strips of the band, it will make some sound. Or if you bring it close to your ear, even if far it doesn't come, bring it close to your ear and hear. We used to play a lot with rubber bands, so that's why I know. The next 4th one is strong friction of an object on another object. Like when you rub an object on the other. Like for example, If you're dragging a heavy box on asphalt, a very heavy box, it's going to make a sound like screeching sound or anything, like even the brakes of cars. So the articulating mechanism that Allah Ta'ala gave humans, human articulation uses some of the previous mentioned methods, which are these which we just saw, in creating sound, of causing sound, of voweled letters and non-voweled letters. Vowel letters are called huruf as-sakina, and if they are having non-vowel letters are called sakina, which is with a sukoon, and vowel letters means they will have a haraka. Something with a haraka is called a mutaharrik. So huruf al-mutaharrik. Now in human articulation, how the sound comes, that is also explained. The non-vowel letters, for example, the sakina, the non-vowel letters are huruf sakina. What happens is, one, it occurs by collision of two components of the articulation parts. There is no accompanying jaw or mouth movement that occurs with vowel letters. With vowel letters, you're moving your jaw, right? A, ba, ta, tha. You're moving your jaw, or you're moving your mouth. Oo, boo, tu. You're moving your mouth as well. But in non-vowel letters, you have no movement of all this. This is for all the non-vowel letters. What? It is collision of two components of articulation parts, like an, am, ab. It's colliding, right? When it's a sakina, it's colliding. But exceptions are the mud letters and lean letters, like a. There is no collision here, so that's an exception. Ow, no collision. I, no collision. And also the qalqala letters, which we will see shortly. So which are the examples of collision? Am, at, like that. Meme occurs by collision of what? Am, the two lips collide. So that is for non-vowel letters. How does the sound come? By collision of two bodies. Second way for non-vowel letters is vibration of vocal cords in the throat, and it does not occur by the collision between two components. It's just vibration of vocal cords. This is only for huruful mad wal leen, because mad and leen are not in that. It's not in the collision of two components in the first part that we saw. And these are leen and mad are what? They are non-vowel letters, and we are right now doing non-vowel letters. Non-vowel means sukoon. So when you put sukoon on all the alphabets, the one which comes is aw, I, a, u, e. The three mud and the two leen. Those are coming in the vibration of vocal cords. As you know, when we talk, how does sound come when we are talking? Near our throat, the vocal cords, they vibrate. That's how the sound comes. Our sound is the vibration of vocal cords. So mud and leen letters, again, they do not have accompanying movement of mouth and jaw. Like for example, a. How does that come? You open the mouth. Oo, by circling the lips. E, by lowering the jaw. You lower your jaw and say E, and repeat these after me. So once you yourself say it, it will be easier to understand and remember. Like the two joined words haulai or su'un, in that you have su. So the mud letters come from vibration of vocal cords, no jaw movement. But the mutaharrik, like if you have a fatha, kasra or a dhamma, then how does the sound comes? It comes by parting of two components of articulation parts. Non-vowel letters, which is sukoon, was am, at, it was collision. But here it is parting. Haraka is parting. Like when you say ma, ba, ta, what are you doing? Your movements, your lips, you are separating. Accompanying the parting of the articulation bodies is what? You have corresponding appropriate mouth and jaw movements. For fatha, for example, you have opening of the mouth. So parting of the mouth, the jaw movement is there. How is the jaw movement? You open the mouth. Infitah lil fam. A, ba, ta, tha, ja, you open the mouth. But for dhamma, what happens? Lips circle. Indimamu lishafatain. U, bu, tu, thu, ju. Whenever you say a dhamma, your lips should form a circle. Then in khifadil lil fak, which is kasra, you lower your jaw. B, T, C, G, your jaw is lowering. They have given example of ba with all the three ba, boo, bi. You have lip separation, opening of the mouth and circling of the lips. For B, you lower your bottom jaw. Now all these vowels will be a shortened version of its origin. The alif is the origin of the fatha, waw origin of dhamma, and ya origin of kasra, which is the mad which we saw. So origin of fatha, how did the fatha come? From the sound of alif. Waw came from the sound of dhamma, and ya came from kasra. So this we had seen before as well. When you recite a kasra, recite it properly. Lower your jaw and say E, B, T. The sound should be clear. Your sound should not come in between a kasra and a fatha. Same thing for dhamma. You should have a clear dhamma. That will come by circling the lips. If you don't circle your lips, you won't have a clear dhamma. And same thing for fatha. Some readers, what happen? They open the side of the mouth for fatha. For fatha, you're supposed to open your mouth vertically, like ba, ta, tha. Some readers, what they do, instead of saying like this, they say be, te, the. So that's imala, that's tilting. You're not supposed to do that. And when you don't make a complete circle of lips, when you don't say boo properly with circling your lips, the sound comes like English o, bo. You don't have a bo sound in Arabic, you have a boo. It's a proper circle. Then again, fil kitab, fell. You don't have to say fell. It's not fe, it's fi. It should be complete. Your jaw should be completely lowered. Fil kitab. You should not let your mouths be lazy. You need to do a lot of exercise for tajweed. So that is what is like. When you know all these things, you will know that you are supposed to pay attention and exercise. When you're not exercising, it will be like you have made your mouth and your jaws lazy. So the correct way of pronouncing vowels need more mouth and jaw action than the incorrect way. The vowel and letter formation is one of the most important items of research in knowledge of tajweed because it's linked to all 29 letters of Arabic. We should be careful to pronounce vowel sounds correctly, and same time, again, what else? You should know how to put a vowel on a sakina letter. Sorry, you should not put a vowel on a sakina letter. For example, you have am. You should not say ama. That fatha should not come on meme because it is having a sakina. Then you have tubatum. When you have tubatum, you have ba kalkala. I should not say tubatum. It should not get a fatha or a dhamma or anything. And then tu is ta dhamma. Ta has a dhamma. Ba has a sukoon. The next ta has again a dhamma. Tu ba sukoon tuba. Ta dhamma tu. So you should say dhamma on the ta properly. Then bring it back to the neutral position for again to say the ba sukoon. Then bring it back for dhamma. So tuba tum. So you should be careful for all these haraka. Then we come to page number 87. That's the last chapter. Chapter 9, Al-Qalqala. Qalqala. Now the letters which have no vowels, which are called as huruful sakina. Huruful sakina. Sakina, as we saw, how is it produced? When two components collide. For sakina, we saw two components collide. You can leave out the mad one because the mad one is, there is no collision there. It's a, u, e and the lean. So other than that, it's collision. So بتصادم بين طرفي عضو نطقي, when collision of two components. Vowels, letters, on the other hand, are produced how? Vowel letters is the opposite. It's parting of two components of the articulating parts. Mad and lean letters, what did we say? They were vibration of vocal cords. So the letters, you can divide it into three groups according to the length of the sound, meaning how much the sound is still running. Based on the running of that sound, you can categorize it into three parts. One is letters of strength, huruful shadda, the letters of strength. The sound does not run at all when these letters are articulated without a vowel. The articulation point is completely closed when the letter of this group is sakin, like ab. Your articulation point, what happens when you're saying ba, ab, your mouth is closing. So the articulation point is completely closed, so the sound doesn't keep on running. When you are going to save these letters with a sukoon, these sounds do not run. That is what is the letters of strength. They are known as huruful shadd. This again, it will come in the sifat, the characteristics of letters when we do. There are, shadda is one of the sifat of the letters. So there again this will come. There are 8 letters in this group. They are grouped under the phrase ajid, qatin, bakat. All these alphabets which are there here, which is a is hamza, jid, jim, dal, qatin, qaf and ta, bakat, ba, kaf and ta. So ajid, qatin, bakat. This is mentioned. This is one of the phrases mentioned in the poem of Imam al-Jazariyya. And the prose, which is the line which is there where this is mentioned, is shadiduha lafzu ajid qatin bakat. Shadiduha, shadid is the most strong. Then the second is letters in between, which is tawassut, is in between. It's not too strong. And third one, as we know it, that means softness. So the second one is in between these two. So what happens is these letters are pronounced with some running sound, but it's not that much. Like shidda is like complete imprisonment. The sound doesn't run, but it's not very soft, like it doesn't keep on running. So it's in the middle. It's between the letters of softness and between the letters of strength. There are 5 here. How you can remember is Lin Umar. Now this author, again this was there in Imam al-Jazariyya poem, was he had mentioned that one incident when, because Umar ibn al-Khattab, as you know, he had a very hard heart before. So it was said to him that Lin Umar, Lin means to be soft, Lin Umar. So that is what he used here, just as to make it easy to remember. All these code words also, they have meanings, like all of the words which are mentioned in the Jazariya poem for the letters of Yarmaloon or whichever, they do have meaning. Like Bakat means to cry. So there are, and cry in the sense of she. So it's a verb for feminine. So even this one, Lain Umar, is the code which he has used, again has a meaning. So the meaning is just for it to fit in the poem, but for us to remember the alphabets, these are 5. They are soft. They don't completely run and they don't completely imprison. And the third is softness. Huruf rakhwa or rakhawa. They have clear and obvious running of the sound when you say them with a sukoon. Like you have the ha letter, you will say ah, so the sound keeps running. Or f, I do not completely stop and say f. No, the sound should run. If I just say f, that's not fair. The sound should run for fair. It should be f. Now for L, if you see, it's not L, it's not going on running and it's not completely stopping. It's not L, not like that. It is running but a little less. It's L, it's N, just slightly running. So all the remaining letters, which is apart from the strength, you have ajid, qatin, bakat. For between, which is huruf tawassut, you have lin umar, and the rest rakhawa, you have all the remaining letters. Now we come to what is qalqala. The letters of qalqala, again you have a group for which you can remember the letters of qalqala. It's qaf, ta, ba. You have qutbu, qutbu jadin. That's how you will remember. There are 5 alphabets here. Qutbu jadin are in the group for qalqala. All these 5 letters are in the group ajid, qatin, bakat, which is the strength. You have ajid, qatin. You see all the 5 qalqala letters come here. You have qut, bu, and jadin. You have all the 5 letters. So all the qalqala letters are, when you say with sukoon, you have strength in them. The articulation point closes completely for all these 5 alphabets. So what happens is, because this articulation point closes completely, it causes an annoyance in the articulation mechanism because the sound gets imprisoned behind the articulation point. So when you have sukoon on them, that is when imprisonment is there. But when you have vowels, you don't have that annoyance when they're going to be pronounced, because that will be pronounced by parting. When sukoon comes, what did we say? Sukoon is when it's colliding. So when it's colliding, it's completely closing and you get annoyance. But for vowels, as we said, it's parting of components. Like you say j, it's parting. So that time you don't have the annoyance because the sound is not getting imprisoned. The Arabs, due to the annoyance and difficulty in pronouncing these 5 letters when there was a sukoon, they have violated the rule of huruf as-sakina. They have violated the rule that huruf as-sakina, they are articulated by the sakina, as we saw, was colliding. So instead what they did is they articulated these letters with تباعد بين طرفي عدو النطق, and then these the same as vowel letters only, but without corresponding movement of the mouth and jaw. If you had a sukoon on jim, you will have an imprisonment because sukoon is colliding. Now in these strength letters, it's completely closing, and because of that completely closing, there is some annoyance. The sound is getting blocked. So what Arabs did, instead of pronouncing it with these, they violated these letters. They recited as same as vowel letters, but in vowel letters what you have parting, so you have jaw movement, you have mouth movement. But what they did is they did the same but without the mouth and jaw movement which is there with these letters. Like for example, jim sukoon will be edge. You will not move your mouth and jaw, but you will say it the same way how you would have said it with a fatha. So in qalqala you have qutbu jadin and qalqala as compared to vowel letters. There is a chart mentioned on page number 89. Huruf sakina, in sakina what do you have? No mouth or jaw movement. You just say s, you don't move your jaw, it's sukoon, just stops there. But huruf al-mutaharrik, what do you have? Either opening of the mouth, circling of the mouth. Opening is for fatha, circling is for dhamma, and lowering of the jaw for kasra. In qalqala again, no mouth or jaw movement will be there. Now when we see here that qalqala is similar to sakin letter because there is no jaw or mouth movement. Because if you see in both of them, sakina letter and qalqala, there is no mouth movement, no jaw movement. But it is not completely like the sakin letter, because qalqala is said how? It is said, one second, it's and that is parting of the components. Parting of the components is not used for sukoon. For sukoon you use closing of the components, colliding of the components. So second letter you use colliding, but for qalqala letters they haven't used colliding, they have used parting, and parting is the one which is used for mutaharrik. So it is similar to mutaharrik because the articulation method is the same. It is similar to sakina because there is no jaw movement and mouth movement. So the definition of qalqala is what? It's a shaking or a disturbance. That's the definition of qalqala literally. But applied, which is what we need to know, is disturbance of the letter when it is in the state of being non-voweled. All these will come when the qalqala part, not in haraka. When you have a, u, e, which is qa, qu, qi, ta, tu, ti, ba, bu, bi, there you wouldn't have this because there you don't have a disturbance. This disturbance will come when you have a sukoon until when? Until a strong accent is heard when it is articulated by parting of the components, not by collision. Collision will be sukoon, but here you will not use collision. But you will not have any opening of the mouth, no circling of the lips, no lowering of the jaw. You will not do like fatha, kasra, dhamma. So qalqala does not resemble a fatha, dhamma or a kasra. It does not follow the vowel of the preceding letter nor of the following letter. No vowel letter it will follow. One more thing which we need to know, because there are various levels of qalqala. If the qalqala letter, now as we saw that all these letters of qalqala and these rulings, that the way we need to pronounce, the method of pronunciation was for sukoon. But if this has a shadda means it's a mudgham, it's a idgham. Two letters, two qaf are combined. The first is with a sukoon and the next will be with any haraka which is there with the shadda. Then you will articulate this by tafadum. Tafadum was what? Just go back on the way of tasadum. Just mind, tasadum means strong collision, like hand clapping. That's strong collision. So when you have a shadda, you have to do a strong collision. Like for example, there is in Suratul Masad, at the last ayah, the first ayah, last word, Tabbat yada abi lahabiyun wa tab. In the wa tab, you have a shadda. So I will not just say wa tab. It will be more strong. Wa tab. So it's a strong collision, tasadum. For example, al-haqqu. In this, al-haq and qu. Arabs don't write like this, but that's for knowing it's written here like this. It's a hamzatul wasl. Al-haq, you have al-haq and then you have qu. Al-haqqu is made up of qaf shadda. That's qaf sukoon plus qaf dhamma. So when you stop, you will do a tasadum, a strong collision. Al-haq. So if we are stopping on the words in these, the first qaf of the word al-haq is pronounced by tasadum. The second qaf is said with a qalqala. So when you say the first qaf, the sukoon one will be just a strong collision, and here you will apply the qalqala. So qalqala is pronounced by taba'ud. Taba'ud is the parting, separation. So here you will do a separation. So you will do al-haq. That's al-haq. You see, there's no qalqala. The qalqala will come when I do the parting, when I do the separation. So I hit the makhraj of qaf and then I do a separation. When the separation comes, that is when the qalqala sound will come. But you're not supposed to do any mouth or jaw movement like how you do in fatha, kasra, dhamma. Same thing, al-hajju. When I stop, al-hajj. When I separate, that qalqala sound will come. So there is, on the last page 91, there is a chart of huruf al-qalqala. It's mutaharrik will be parting. Qa, qu, qi, that's parting. But sakina, ghayru mudghama, which is you don't have a mudghama, you don't have a shadda. Again by parting only. But in contrast, you're not going to do any opening, circling or lowering. No a, u, e. But there will be a qalqala. Mudghama is when you will have a idgham, which is you will have a shadda. So you will do collision. Basic rule will be emitting the sakina letter, but no qalqala for the first tasadum. The second one is what you will do, a qalqala. So qalqala you can divide it into two categories, qalqala sughra wal qalqala kubra. Sughra is the lesser qalqala. It occurs when the qalqala is in the middle of the word or end of the word, when we are not stopping on the word. What did I say? Let me say again. What is sughra is lesser qalqala. When do you do the lesser qalqala? When the sukoon, the qalqala sukoon letter is coming in the middle of the word. It can come at the end, but you're continuing your recitation. You're still reciting something more. Because when it's in the middle, that time also you're reciting something more here. And when it's at the end of the word, then also you're reciting something more here. So you will say the qalqala over here. Like qad aflaha. So qad was a smaller qalqala. But greater qalqala, what is greater qalqala? It will be here at the last. But what will happen is, we are going to stop here. So when you stop here, you have a greater qalqala. Like at-tariq. Riqa is more stronger qalqala. Difference between these two divisions is that there is more of a ring to the qalqala kubra because we are stopping than sugura. Sugura, since we are continuing, that much of a qalqala doesn't come. That's why kubra is more big, it's more strong. So that finishes book 1 of the Tajweed rules of the Quran. If you have any queries, questions, you can clear them before the test, and the test will make all your queries more clear because you may have more queries by the time you're going to write the test. So inshallah I will announce the dates of the test. It would be most likely in not this week. We will take some days gap, but it would be better if you all give me a date by when you all want it. We will have 2 reading sessions, one tomorrow and the other after that, so that we can practice some of the rules that we have learned. By looking at the Mus'haf, one thing is more which we will focus on, because at this stage, since if you're learning the theory for the first time, you may not remember it all. But while you're looking at the Mus'haf and then reciting, it should be easier for you to learn and remember and recite. So that as time passes, when you learn these rules or read these rules or come across these rules again, the more you come across them, you will remember them inshallah slowly. But for now, at least, while you're looking at the Mus'haf and reciting, you should be able to recite it properly. So we will focus more on the way it looks and how you should recite those. So inshallah I will end the session now. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Those who have missed it can watch the recording and be ready for the test. It will be a theory test. You may have to write some sentences in some of them, and the rest would be just marking or mentioning which rule it is, or pick the word, or pick which words are having so and so rule, just like that. So just a couple will be theory, the rest should be easy inshallah. So wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.